வணக்கம். பொங்கல் வாழ்த்துக்கள். The second day after Pongal is usually celebrated as the Thiruvalluvar day. I am not certain if there is any proof available with us to say that that was his actual date of birth. Nevertheless, that's a convention and we celebrate the second day after Pongal as Thiruvalluvar day. On this auspicious day, my thoughts go back to this man who lived 2 millennia ago. What's very surprising is that Thiruvalluvar has not left any detail about him. Just in contrast, if you think about the people who lived during his period, there are a lot of them in the Sangam literature and in the post-Sangam literature. The poets have left their names, their communities, their kingdoms, they talk about their patrons. Contrary to this, Valluvar has not left any detail about him. And his name Valluvar itself, I am not sure if that was his name. That was probably the name of the community that he belonged to. Valluvar was the name given to the community who were soothsayers or priests. So he has not even left his name. He talks at length about the mountains, but he has not mentioned any mountains, including the mighty Himalayas. He talks about water bodies and the need to preserve them. He talks about oceans and seas. He talks about the rivers, but there is no mention of any ocean or sea in his literature. The mighty Kaveri, Vaigai and Tamrabarani don't find any mention in what Thiruvalluvar has written. He talks about the power of words, but he does not mention the name of any language. There is a lot in his work about kings, about rulers, kingdoms, espionages, spies, war strategies, friends and enemies. But not a single king's name is mentioned in Thirukkural. There is no kingdom that is mentioned there. The Cheras, the Cholas and the Pandyas, who have already come up at that point of time, don't find any mention in the body of work written by Thiruvalluvar. It's indeed very, very strange that this man has not left any detail about him. Where did he live? Was it Malapur in Chennai or Kanyakumari? There are two schools of thought. We are not sure. What was his profession? Some people say that he was a weaver. He probably was. He probably was not. We are not sure. There are legends about his wife whose name was Vasugi. But these are only legends. He hasn't left any detail about his family. So why did Valluvar choose this path, which was rather strange? He hasn't left any details about him. If I am trying to reconstruct his personality from what he has written, it is proving to be a very, very difficult task. I have heard about the great sculptors who just had the toenail of a person and they were able to build the sculpture of the entire person with the detailing which was there in a toenail. Can we do something like that if we are trying to reconstruct his personality from what he has left behind? I think it's extremely difficult. But there is one thing about this man that I am absolutely sure about. He had the courage to stand up and declare the truth to the world. He was able to differentiate the eternal from the temporal, light from darkness. And that's why he probably had the courage to stand up and say that by birth, all human beings are equal. A couple of weeks ago, friends, we just read some news article about a village in Tamil Nadu that had a 2-tumbler system in the tea shops. So when the district collector went there for an inspection, the news also came out about the human feces floating in the water tank that was built for the use of a particular community. We are shocked. Are we living in 2023 or in some ancient period? If this is the situation today, we can imagine how it would have been 2000 years ago. But it was in that period that Valluvar stood up and declared that by birth, all human beings are equal. The differences come only by the quality of their actions. Pirappokkum, Ellaa Uyirkkum, Sirappu, Seythozhil, Vetrumai, Yaan. That's the power of this man. And that is why Valluvar has occupied a dominant space in the intellectual portions of the Tamil land. and he will continue to do so for eternities to come. I will be sharing more thoughts on Thirukkural with you. Every Saturday, Thirukkural with the Times with me, Bharathi Baskar, in the Tamil Nadu editions of Times of India.